Hello friends, let's explore. Across the American landscape of numismatics, 5 Liberty dollar coins stand tall, each a symbol of freedom, artistry, and national identity. But these coins also share something else. They're the ones that challenge even the most dedicated collectors to their limits. They're rare, they're expensive, and they're known as quitters because so many give up before completing the set. This is the full journey: history, geography, circulation, and the truth of their uncirculated lives. In the world of coin collecting, every piece has a story, a tale inscribed in metal, echoing through time. Among these stories, one mysterious phrase occasionally surfaces: the Liberty Quitter dollar coin from 1994. Though such a coin is not formally documented by the United States Mint, it has intrigued collectors and historians alike. This exploration will dissect the term, uncover potential origins, and examine all known U.S. coin issues from 1994 that could fit the description. The term, Liberty Quitter, is not officially recognized in U.S. numismatics. However, it may be a misinterpretation or misreading of Liberty Quarter, a novelty or fantasy coin, often sold through private mints or souvenir shops, a misprint or counterfeit piece, a play on words, possibly satirical or political in nature. Many novelty coins feature Lady Liberty and a phrase like quitter or freedom in protest or parody. These are not legal tender. If we assume the coin in question is a legitimate U.S. Mint product from 1994, the only coins resembling the description might include Susan B. Anthony dollar. No dollar coins were officially minted for circulation in 1994. The last SBA dollar, before the 1999 reissue, was in 1981, minted in Philadelphia and San Francisco composition. 9999 fine silver. Obverse, walking liberty design. Reverse, heraldic eagle, commemorative coins. U.S. Mint released several commemorative coins in 1994. 1994, World Cup commemorative dollar, featuring the World Cup trophy. U.S. Capitol bicentennial, dollar featuring the Capitol dome. None of these include the phrase quitter, but all feature liberty. Understanding the year can offer insight. President, Bill Clinton era of political shifts, NAFTA debates, and mid-90s conservative resurgence. Liberty was a prominent theme in commemorative coin designs. Privately minted satirical coins emerged in this era, some bearing phrases like "In debt we trust" or "Liberty Quitter," mocking governmental decisions. These are not official U.S. coins, but they do exist as collectibles or protest pieces. No official U.S. circulating dollar coin was minted in 1994. If referencing quarters or commemoratives, these may have circulated privately or through collectors. For U.S. Mint coins, especially silver eagles and commemoratives, uncirculated, BU, coin struck once with normal dies. No wear, but may have minor bag marks, graded typically MS-60 to MS-70. Special coin struck multiple times with polished dies, mirror-like finish. Sold directly by the U.S. Mint to collectors, values in uncirculated or proof condition vary. Uncirculated, $45–70 as of 2025. Proof, $70–150 Capitol bicentennial. Silver dollar, $30–60 World Cup. Silver dollar, $25–5. Some coins may include Lady Liberty on the obverse. The word quitter as political satire, e.g., referencing a politician resigning, sold as collector's pieces or for humor. Such coins are not legal tender, not recognized by the U.S. Mint, commonly made of plated base metals or silver replicas. Collectors value them more for their curiosity or artwork than intrinsic or historical value. If you have a coin marked Liberty Quitter dated 1994, it is almost certainly a privately minted or fantasy coin, a piece of political satire, not a U.S. Mint-issued dollar coin. Still, it may have collector interest depending on the artwork, symbolism, metal content, and rarity. If you can share a photo or describe the coin's obverse and reverse design inscriptions, metal type, size, and color, I can give you precise identification, history, and estimated value. Imagine holding a coin dated 1969. It bears the familiar, solemn face of liberty, but with an unfamiliar word etched into its face. Quitter. This anomaly sparks curiosity and confusion. No records from the U.S. Mint mention such a coin, and yet here it is, a mystery in metal. What is this piece? A satire? A protest? A fantasy coin? Or an artistic interpretation of a turbulent year in American history? To uncover the truth, we must go back in time, across decades of American numismatic production, politics, and popular culture. The year 1969 was one of the most dramatic in American history. Vietnam War protests peaked. President Richard Nixon took office in January. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon in July. The country was divided over civil rights, war, and national identity. In this volatile environment, satire and protest art flourished. Countercultural and anti-establishment sentiments spread into everything, including collectible items and numismatics. Let's examine what was actually produced by the U.S. Mint in 1969. From 1935 to 1970, no dollar coins were produced for public circulation in the United States. The last circulating silver dollar before 1969 was the peace dollar, 1935. The next would be the Eisenhower dollar, introduced in 1971. Lincoln cent Jefferson, nickel Roosevelt, dime Washington, quarter Kennedy, half dollar. The 1969 D. Kennedy half dollar is the most notable. It was made from 40% silver and was the only large silver coin still being issued. U.S. coins in 1969 were struck at Philadelphia, no mint mark, primarily proofs and cents Denver, D. Most business strike coins, San Francisco, S. proofs. And some silver coinage, the Kennedy half dollars bearing the D mint mark, were struck in Denver. Proof sets came from San Francisco. Since no official coin bears this title, we can break the phrase into two symbolic parts. Liberty, common on U.S. coins, symbolizes freedom, the republic, and foundational American ideals. Quitter suggests satire or protest, possibly referencing a political resignation, withdrawal from Vietnam, or critique of national policy. Political satire coin, created privately in 1969 or later to criticize politicians. Fantasy issue, sold to collectors, or as art. Counterfeit or error alteration, a genuine coin modified with engraving or stamping. Military or veteran souvenir coin, some private mints created Vietnam-era joke coins. These items are not legal tender but can be found at coin shows or in collectors' personal collections. Let's discuss both circulation and numismatic condition, assuming the coin in question is a Kennedy half dollar or a fantasy coin based on it. Composition: 40% silver, 60% copper weight, 11.5 grams circulated condition value, $5, $10, based on silver content and condition. Mintage: 129 million mint. Denver, uncirculated. San Francisco, proof, graded MS65 or higher, worth 20 tar 80 plus proof sets from 1969 S, worth $10, $20 today, may be made from silver-plated brass, aluminum or base metals. Collector value: $1, $30 depending on rarity or message not recognized by grading services like NGC or PCGSI. If your coin has unusual inscriptions like Quitter, In Greed We Trust, Liberty Lost, etc., irregular sizes or colors, unofficial fonts or modern font embossing, it is likely a fantasy or novelty piece. These were privately minted, sometimes in protest or as military tokens, and occasionally in mockery of presidential actions or resignations, such as Nixon, who would resign in 1974. If you have this coin in your possession, consider uploading a photo of both sides. Important features to capture: full inscriptions, imagery, or portraits. Mint mark, DS or none. Color and condition. With that, I can authenticate what kind of coin or token it I, estimate market value, provide deeper historical insight. The phrase is a mythical or misunderstood label. But the existence of protest coins and novelty mints makes it very likely you have an interesting piece of political or cultural history, even if not monetary. Whether a Kennedy half-dollar with altered text or a Vietnam-era satirical token, it deserves a closer look. U.S. coin from that year has this phrase, and no dollar coins were produced for general circulation in 1988. But that doesn't end the story. Coins, real or symbolic, can be tools of art, protest, or satire. In this case, the phrase liberty, quitter may come from a novelty, fantasy, altered or private issue token, possibly tied to political satire or military history. Let's explore this fascinating possibility through a carefully researched script, blending confirmed coin facts with interpretation. You hold in your hand a mysterious coin dated 1988. It resembles a U.S. dollar. It bears the classic word liberty, but beneath or around it, another word raises eyebrows. Quitter. Is it satire? Is it an error? Is it real U.S. currency? In truth, it's a fascinating relic, either of protest, military humor, or private minting, that intersects with the very idea of liberty in American history. To understand this mystery, we begin with what was officially produced. The Susan B. Anthony dollar, SBA, was not minted in 1988 for circulation. Last minted in 1981, the SBA would return briefly in 1999. Lincoln cent, Jefferson nickel, Roosevelt dime, Washington quarter, Kennedy half-dollar. The only larger coin minted in 1988 was the Kennedy half-dollar, but it has no connection to the word quitter or any official protest coin. Coins in 1988 were produced at 3 major U.S. mints. Mint location: mint mark coin types, Philadelphia, none. All standard denominations, Denver Doll standard business strikes. San Francisco's proof coins and mint sets only. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was not part of this year's output, further confirming that any 1988 coin marked Liberty Quitter is not an official mint product. Since no official U.S. dollar bears this title, here are 4 plausible explanations for what your 1988 coin might be: a real U.S. coin that has been engraved, stamped, or modified. Liberty Quitter could have been stamped onto the surface by an artist or political commentator, common in protest art, especially in periods of disillusionment. Minted privately, not by the U.S. Mint. Often includes political satire, such as, "In greed we trust, $1 trillion coin quitter," possibly in reference to Ronald Reagan's final year or to political resignations. During the Vietnam era and into the 1980s, military personnel sometimes made or received joke or short-timer coins as they neared retirement or deployment's end. Quitter might jokingly refer to a person leaving active duty or getting out of government work. 88 was an election year. George H.W. Bush versus Michael Dukakis. Could the word quitter reflect political commentary? A critique of Reagan-era policies ending? Commentary on someone quitting public service? Let's review coin grading and condition scenarios, assuming this is either a real coin modified like a Kennedy half-dollar or a privately minted fantasy dollar. Value, low numismatic value, possibly $1, mostly novelty if privately minted coin. Base metal versions, 110 silver-plated or art pieces, $10, $30 depending on demand. These coins are not legal tender, not issued by the mint, so uncirculated refers only to surface condition. Value may be higher if coin is pristine, MS65+, uncommon or limited run novelty, part of a collectible political series. Collectors of political memorabilia or protest art may pay $20, $50 for well-preserved examples, especially if they're tied to a known movement. Signs your 1988 Liberty Quitter. Coin is not official. U.S. currency. Feature, what to look for. Misspelled or altered phrases. Quitter, replacing trust. Irregular weight or metal. Aluminum, zinc or bronze feel. No denomination, e.g. $1 missing. Very common on satire coins. Flat reverse or blank back, often seen in novelty issues. Silly or sarcastic language. In Fraud We Trust, or Debt Coin. Why 1988? Ronald Reagan's presidency was ending after 8 years. George H.W. Bush was elected that year. Political divisions were growing in America. Cold War nearing its close. The word quitter might mock the end of Reagan's era or suggest a loss of national resolve or liberty. Alternatively, it might be personal, referring to a retiring military member, civil servant, or politician. So, what is the 1988 Liberty Quitter coin? Most likely, a novelty, fantasy, or engraved piece not minted by the U.S. government. It may have symbolic or satirical value, especially if linked to political commentary or military culture of the time. While not legal tender, such a coin can be culturally significant and collectible. If you upload a clear image of both sides of the coin, I can confirm whether it's real U.S. coinage. Identify alterations, estimate value more accurately. The 1988 Liberty Quitter coin may not have been born in the halls of the U.S. Mint, but it carries with it something just as valuable, a mystery rooted in satire, rebellion, or remembrance. It is not the currency of commerce, but possibly of critique or commemoration. There is no officially recognized U.S. Mint-issued dollar coin from 1982 with the phrase Liberty Quitter. This phrase does not appear on any genuine U.S. currency. However, as with previous decades, such a coin could be a fantasy issue or novelty piece, a satirical or protest token, an altered genuine coin with quitter stamped or engraved onto it. Let's now explore a full, compelling, long-form script that blends real numismatic history, political context, and coinage geography to give life to this curious object, real or imagined. You find it tucked in an old cigar box wrapped in aged linen, a coin stamped 1982. The word Liberty is proudly emblazoned on one side, but something else catches your eye. Quitter. A strange label, a contradiction, a mystery. No numismatic catalog lists it. No price guide values it. No mint records acknowledge it. And yet, here it is. What is this coin? A prank? A protest? A parting gift from a lost generation? To answer that, we must first understand what was happening in 1982, in the Mint and in America. Ronald Reagan was in his second year as U.S. president. Unemployment was high. The Cold War was heating up again. Interest rates and inflation had wrecked consumer confidence. And yet the national mood was slowly beginning to shift from disillusionment to ambition. But 1982 was also a year of exits and farewells. Veterans of the Vietnam era were retiring or resigning. Activists from the 60s were fading from the public stage. Quitter may have been a derisive or self-effacing label, one that could find its way onto a symbolic coin. There were no dollar coins minted for general circulation in 1982. Let's explore what was issued that year by the U.S. Mint Lincoln. Cent, PD, notable for switching from 95% copper to copper-plated zinc Jefferson nickel Roosevelt dime Washington quarter Kennedy half dollar. The Susan B. Anthony, SBA dollar, which debuted in 1979, was not minted in 1982. It had been discontinued after 1981 due to poor public reception. There were no commemorative coins, and no proof sets were sold by the Mint in 1982. It was a bare-bones year due to federal budget cuts. The Mint operated from 3 main locations: Mint Location, Mint Mark, Keynotes, PV Philadelphia, none cents were struck here, D Denver, D cents, nickels, dimes, etc. SS San Francisco has no proof coins this year. Proof coin production ceased temporarily in 1982, making San Francisco's role minimal that year. Let's now explore what the phrase Liberty Quitter could mean. Political satire. Token possibly mocking a politician seen as abandoning liberty. Might be linked to Cold War debates, Vietnam fallout, or early Reagan policies.